Welcome back. If you're new here, hi, my name is Trisha Miller. This week's meal prep is going to focus on anti-inflammatory foods. I have been feeling extra bloated lately. We have been living it up with the summer treats. So I just really wanted to focus on all of the gut health, the anti-inflammatory foods to just get my body back on track this week. So we are going to get started. I'm going to show you all the ingredients that you need. You could pause the video after that, get your groceries, and we could cook together, or just rewatch this later. I'm so thankful that you are here. Let's get started. Okay, for our breakfast, for our apple breakfast cake, we're gonna need some oats. These are chia seeds. We're gonna add some ground flax, some vanilla, a couple of apples, cinnamon, and honey. And then for the lunch, I'm gonna make a vegetarian version for me, but I do have just some rotisserie chicken left over from dinner last night that I'm gonna add to some bowls for Steven. But the base, we're gonna have the quinoa. I'm going to do some baked Brussel sprouts. I'm gonna cut up this cauliflower, bake that. And then this is just my all-time favorite vegetable, butternut squash. So I add that to everything. And then to give it some extra flavor, I'm going to be sprinkling it with some tzatziki sauce. I'm gonna wait and do that obviously just the day of when I eat it, but I wanted to show that to you. This is just really, really good. Okay, for the snack, I'm gonna do some yogurt parfaits. I'm gonna use my favorite Chobani Greek yogurt just to add some extra anti-inflammatory. I'm gonna be using cherries. I'll show you how I use my pit remover machine. That is just like the greatest thing of all time. And then I'm gonna add some chia smash. If you haven't tried this, I'm new to this. I've only had it a couple of times and it's so good. I got mine on Amazon, so I will link it, but if you are a Thrive Market member, you can also get it on Thrive, and it's like $2 or $3 cheaper on Thrive. And then here are the ingredients for my smoothie cubes. I did a packet of the Clovis Farms Organic Super Smoothies that I get at Costco. I added some frozen cherries this week, and then this is just what they look like when they're all done. So I will show you that video really quickly to show you how I made my smoothies, and then we'll get going. Okay, for my smoothie hack, I showed this in my video last week, so I will link that video in the description box below so you can see more details. But I made the initial smoothie in my NutriBullet, and I added some cherries this time to my typical smoothie pack that I do just to add some anti-inflammatory benefits. I added some chia seeds and some ground flax. And so I blended that up, and then I'm just pouring it into my ice cube tray, and then you just let it sit overnight in the freezer. And my smoothie glasses take about 4 cubes to fill it up. And then I'll just add some water to that. And I've been adding just a tiny smidge. I mean, I'm only talking about like maybe 1/8 of a cup of the Honest brand juice, just to give it a little bit of an extra sweetness. And it's so good. It takes about 30 minutes to thaw out. And then I just stir it with the straw and it's ready to go. And I don't have to get my blender dirty every single day. I mean, this is like the way that I am doing my smoothies for the rest of my life. Before we do anything else, I need to make some iced coffee. While I'm doing that, let's kind of talk about the plan of action. I have the oven going for the breakfast apple oatmeal cake. I think I'm gonna start with that so that it can bake in the oven while I move on to, next we'll do the lunch. We'll cut up our vegetables, get those going in the air fryer. While those are cooking in the air fryer, I think I'll move on to make my yogurt parfait snacks, and then when those are done, we can get our bowls together. And that should be it for today. This is the creamer I use in case you're interested. So I think that's our plan. We might switch it up. Let's just kind of see how it goes. Again, thank you for being here. Let's drink this coffee and start cooking. Okay, starting with the apple cake, I realized when I initially showed you all the ingredients, I was missing quite a few. So let me just go through that really quickly. We have our apples. We still have the vanilla, the honey, the cinnamon, but you're also going to need baking powder and baking soda. 1 tablespoon of butter that I didn't have at the beginning. We're gonna be adding some yogurt as well. I am adding the chia seeds and the ground flax myself. The recipe does not call for that. We need some oatmeal, I already showed you that. And then also the other ingredient I was missing was eggs. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna peel my apples, I'm gonna cut one up, and I'm putting everything in the food processor. You could use the hand blender, you could use a regular blender. I'm just gonna use my food processor. My Ninja blender that I usually use is dirty right now because I made my smoothie cubes. So I'm just gonna use my food processor. Hopefully that works. Blend it all up. But for my apple, I think I'm gonna do one in the food processor so it'll get really, really demolished. You won't know it's in there, but I think it'll just add some extra flavor and extra moisture to this cake. And then after I mix everything up, I'm gonna chop up another apple just to have like some chunks of apple inside of it, pieces of apple. I don't really like the word chunks, especially when it comes to cooking. We're gonna say pieces of apple. And then I'm gonna slice up really thinly another apple to just lay on top of the cake so it has just a thin layer of apple slices on top. This would be a great cake for fall if it turns out. We'll find out. This is a new recipe. I've never made this before. I was very excited though when I was researching some new anti-inflammatory recipes, so I really think this is gonna be a good one. Stay tuned. Let's make it. So making this apple cake definitely is giving me the fall feels. I cannot wait for the fall season. If you've been following, you know that I am not a summer person. I try to live in the moment. I love going to the pool with my kids and all the fall things. I love having my kids home, but I am not my best self in the heat and humidity when my hair looks like a poodle. It's just not my prime. But fall is my moment. I love everything about fall. All right. If you haven't hit that subscribe button and you want to join me in the fall season for crockpot recipes and baking and all those healthy, wonderful spins that we'll put on everything, please hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, let's give this video a big thumbs up. Okay, the apple cake is now in the oven, so I'm going to get started on my vegetables. I like my vegetables to be cooked pretty well done, so I'm going to do 3 rounds in my air fryer, probably for about like 12 to 15 minutes for each one. I'm going to start with the butternut squash. I buy my butternut squash already pre-cut. I'm just not very good with knife skills, so it's always a risky move for me to cut a butternut squash. So I save my fingers and buy that one cut up on its own. But I can handle cutting up the cauliflower and the Brussels sprouts. So those are going to be the 3 vegetables that we're going to be cooking for our quinoa Mediterranean bowls. So really it's just cooking them in the air fryer. And then the quinoa is a microwave pouch, which, oh my gosh, I find that to be so much easier I do that with my brown rice as well. So we're going to microwave that up and then we'll start building our bowls. Okay, all the vegetables are cooking. The apple cake came out of the oven. It smelled amazing. Cannot wait to try that. So now I'm just going to use my cherry pitter device that I've had for years. I will link a similar one below. I couldn't find the exact one for you, but I'll link a similar one. This thing is life-saving when I eat cherries because, spoiler alert, if you've never had a fresh cherry, they have pits in the middle that will hurt a lot if you accidentally bite on one. It's happened to me several times. So here's the tactic, the little strategy I'm going to tell you when you use this thing. Make sure you count the pits that will fall below in the tray. You should have 6 if you're using the machine that I'm recommending. And if there's not 6 cherry pits in there, go exploring. Figure out which cherry did not give you their pit because, oh my gosh, it does not feel good when you bite one. But anyway, cherries are amazing. Highly recommend them. Huge anti-inflammatory benefits. They also help you sleep better at night. So I typically have them during the summer months. That's when they're in season here for us here in Virginia. The summer months, they are just, oh, so good. I could eat them by themselves for a dessert. So I'm going to get these chopped up. The cherries will stain your fingers. So you can definitely wear gloves if you're somebody who doesn't want that. I don't really mind it. But this was a really good crop of cherries that I had. So as I'm building our lunch bowls, I just want to tell you, I'm making 2 choices here. I'm having the vegetarian option, but then I'm adding for the other 2 for my husband, Steven, I'm putting some rotisserie chicken in for him. So if you don't want it to be vegetarian, some other good ideas besides rotisserie chicken, you could get some lean ground turkey and then cook that up with some Greek seasoning. That's really good. So just like, any type of protein, extra protein meat that you want to add to it, feel free to do that. I'm just making mine vegetarian. I also thought after the fact I should have added some chickpeas to my vegetarian bowl. That would have added some extra bulk and protein as well. So that's another option. And stay tuned till the end of the video. I will show you when I had this for lunch later that day what I added to it to give it even more flavor. Just tried my first bite of the apple oatmeal breakfast cake because I'm hungry and I wanted a little snack. It is so good. You know how sometimes when you do like an oatmeal bake, it's an oatmeal bake and you can tell it's all oatmeal? Like, it's not. It has the texture of cake and it's perfectly sweet. I'm so pleasantly surprised. It even has like that buttery flavor to it, and we only added was 1 tablespoon of butter for the entire thing. This is so good. You've got to try this. And if you like it really, really sweet, you could even add some almond butter to the top. Ooh, that would be good. I'm just gonna eat it as is. I cannot wait to have this for breakfast every morning. Yay, new recipe success. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't already and you're interested, hit that subscribe button for me. Please give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you next time.